Hell yeah. Before 4. Thank God it's Friday. Oh yeah. If you're not subscribed to Matthew, subscribe to Matthew over on YouTube. Here's his link. Oh yeah. Party on. Party on. Taco Friday. Would you like some of that? Would you like some of that? I don't know. I'll take beef, please. Matthew. Hello, Matthew. Like I was saying earlier, if you're not subscribed to Matthew's YouTube, right there's his YouTube link in the chat. Like and share this, please. We are up to 558 subscribers right now. Woo! Yes, and we are on before 4. Absolutely. A few minutes. I'm ready to go. Ready to go on the go on the Friday with the sun shining in. Whatever. Oh yeah. Shadow Hawk will be here in a moment. My illustrious co-host. Wolf and Batsy about Volume 1, trade paperback, compiling all that good Wolf and Batsy goodness over there on Kickstarter. About 31 hours left on this. $11,764. Pledged a $4,000 goal, so made the goal. 172 backers. Nice to see it all collected. It collects Wolf and Batsy 1 through 6. Good looking stuff at par usual. Great looking trailer. We'll take a look at that here in a minute. Here's your werewolf representation for today. Shadowhawk, very good looking stuff. Brian, we'll have to get him back on here at some point. He'll probably bring this over to another platform from Kickstarter. I don't know. I think that's what he usually does. But we'll see. I would think a trade paperback collecting 1 through 6, and then I guess 7 is available on this campaign as well. I've got the very first Wolf and Batsy's that Alterna did. Some of those were published through Alterna. It looks like he still has, some of those, but now it's under his own label. Good looking, fun book. Got the first 12 or 13 issues already done. Oh, that's a nice Vampirella homage there. You can tell just by the red and the way it's laid out and everything. That's cool. He did this ghoul here on the right across from Batsy, and I thought, oh, that's a good name for my character. I'll name my character Ghoul, that I've never really had a name for. So thank you, Brian, for supplying that. Oh, that's a nice Wolfman with Brian as a little kid, I guess. Empire Strikes Back shirt. That's awesome. I had an orange one like that, but it was Star Wars. Bloody Weirdo Comics. Love that. So cool. Welcome to the show, Shadowhawk. Matthew will be adding a new page every Friday from now on. Yes, and so today's Friday, so a new page added. Just added a fresh, never frozen page to the Night Slayers over on globalcomics.com. Go check it out.
Hey, Matt.
Matt was on with us last night on the Draw stream, Shadowhawk.
Oh, very cool.
Nice TV you got going on there.
I don't know why that's on even. But whatever.
Yeah. Do I see festive trimming around the house? You know, Caleb's in the house. Caleb,
not much yet.
Not much yet. You're going to work on it, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do the lights in the tree and stuff this weekend, and then I don't think we're gonna do much outside or anything for Christmas. It's too cold this year, so we're just gonna, Christmas is up in here a little bit.
I get it. I totally get that. This is Brian Ball as a kid with his Empire Strikes Back in front of the Wolf Van. Isn't that cool?
Nice. That's a great poster.
In junior high, when I was like 13, I had a Star Wars one with Darth Vader's helmet on it, I guess, and it was orange like this.
Yeah.
And that's actually in our school annual for that year. That's the shirt I wore for that. You'll like this trailer. I played it earlier today. Wolf and Batsy, Volume 1, collected trade paperback, collects 1 through 6 over on Kickstarter. You'll like this trailer, Shadow. Check it out. Get this thing working. One thing is, you can't make these things big.
Yeah.
On screen. As I say, this is representation for today, Shadow.
There you go.
Now, you know what? I got to stop it. I'm going to back it up. Listen to the music. It sounds like Duran Duran, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess a little bit.
I don't know the song, but it sounds like Duran Duran to me.
Okay.
Doesn't it? That one song they have?
I can see it.
Little techno synthesized music, yeah.
It's not coming to mind. I see me. Yeah.
Or maybe it's not Duran Duran. It's one of those 80s.
I was never big,
you know.
Duran.
I wish I knew the. I wish
Techno
I knew
or whatever.
They had a lot of synth. Oh, you know, Flock of Seagulls. The Flock of Seagulls song.
Oh. Yeah. Now you can hear it.
Now you can hear it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Duran's a little more upbeat.
Yeah, that's right. This is Flock of Seagulls. Yeah. A riff on that. Good song. Welcome to your Friday.
They live on flesh and subsist on blood. When pretty young girls go on a pleasure trip alone, they don't realize it will be their last trip.
Oh no!
A shocking and ghastly nightmare of gruesome terror.
Big dog. Yes, Theo.
No one can escape the vampires, and no one can run from the werewolves.
Yeah, that's cool.
To avoid
A little bit long,
fame, just say
but
it's only a comic book. It's only a comic book. It's only a comic book.
oh, Brian did the music for that too. Did you see that? That's
Yes,
original music.
I know, right?
Wow,
But now I kind of get
that's
where
great.
he's. It sounded like flock of seagulls to me, a little bit. Uh,
Yeah, I can
but
see that
nothing
little
wrong with
flock
that.
of seagull flavor there.
Hmm.
Hey, Jenko in the house. Good to see you.
I guess we're doing pretty good.
Oh, Caleb
Weather.
Reynolds is here too. Sorry, Caleb, didn't see you slip in.
Yeah,
So I'm saying hi to the chat, man. You just deal with it.
yeah,
Without the chat, we are nothing.
nothing. So
Remember, young
I wonder what he
Skywalker.
210 pages on this trade paperback.
Woohoo!
Written and drawn by him from 99 to 2004, originally self-published in 2008, revised and reprinted 2021. So they got a revised edition. I guess he pumped up the art or something. It's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, over there.
what's the damage on that bad boy?
What do you mean damage?
Uh, the price on it's 210 pages. What's the trade going for? 40,
Well,
50, or we did not.
I just X'd it off. So,
Ah,
you
that's
know,
all right. It's
and
Kickstarter
it's
anyway, so I'm not
Kickstarter.
going to back it
Yeah,
up.
yeah, it'll
Yeah.
probably come over to Fund My
Hopefully.
Comic or Indiegogo at some
Yeah,
point. I'm thinking.
I would think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I hope so. Give me a chance to get it because yeah, I just don't do the Kickstarter thing. Sorry. No, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I don't. Elon, happy birthday to Dionne Warwick. She's 85 today.
Ugh, never did care for Dion.
No,
She look like a man.
she look like a man. X that off. She look like a man. Okay. Yeah, you use what God gave
Look
you.
at her face and those shoulders, dude. I mean, she's look at that. Come on. I mean, it looks like a feminine guy, but
Are,
still
are
a
you
guy.
are you saying that she's a man? Actually, a man? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying she looks like a man. She got manly features. She got big shoulders, big wide face,
Yeah.
big hands. She's a big bitch.
Mhm. Yeah.
She can sing. Nah, don't get me wrong. She can sing like a bird.
Look at this shadow. This is Saddam Hussein's gold bullion.
Sodom and Gomorrah. Hey, Apex. What's going on, buddy?
Hey,
What
Apex.
is it?
And Mike Walters in the
Those
house.
that's gold bars? Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Oh yeah. He
I
was.
had to blow that up to see what it was. Good
Mhm.
God. I only need
It's a
one
lot
or
of
two of those. I'll be a happy man.
that's a lot of gold. That's a lot of gold. Look, that soldier there sitting there almost looked like Tom Cotton. Um, my senator from, because he was over there, I
No.
believe. Uh, Today's birthday, heavenly birthday, Edvard Munch, of course, the Norwegian painter born in 1863, most famous for the Scream. It's become one of Western art's most iconic images. Munch, for much of his life, battled mental illness and alcoholism. He passed in 1944, age 80.
Wow. You lived to a ripe old age for having all those issues.
Yeah, I love his woodcuts and other things that he produced. He produced 4 or 5. I don't know. He produced several versions of the Scream. This is only one of
Oh
them.
yeah, there was a bunch of them. I want to say there was like 10 or 12 of them, right? So there's a bunch.
Yeah, there's probably a bunch of
But
them. And man, see, your
the
Mark's Edward G. Robertson's birthday.
the one is the famous one. It's only one because they're all like posed slightly differently.
Right, right. Edward G. Robertson, he was actually blacklisted in Hollywood for a good long time, and then he kind of came
Where's
back
the Messiah
in
now, Jesus?
Ten Commandments. More than 100
Yeah, where's the
films.
Messiah now?
Yeah, see, you mind? Can you name his last movie? Do you
Oh
remember what his last movie was?
no, no idea.
Soylent Green. He actually passed away like 2 weeks after filming it, and in that movie he
Really?
dies, euthanized. He euthanizes himself. Born in
Mm-hmm.
1893. More than 100 films, TV in 50-year career. Remembered for his tough guy roles like in Little Caesar, 1931, and Key Largo, 1948. Passed in 1973 at age 79. Frank
Mm.
Sinatra's birthday today, born in 1915.
Who loves you, baby? Oh, no, wait a minute. So that's Tony Swift.
Everybody loves some. No, that's not him. I did it my way, right? I did it my
Yeah, I
way.
suppose.
Yeah, he died in 1998. Old Blue Eyes, nicknamed Old Blue Eyes, 82 years old.
Mm.
150 million record sales.
Damn,
Yeah, damn, damn
that's a
nabbit.
lot of records.
That's a lot of records. Yeah. Can you tell me the best-selling song of all time? Just
Ooh,
as a little trivia thing.
I think I used to know this one. Uh, Gotta be pop song.
Bing Crosby. Bing Crosby.
It's gotta be what do you call it then? White Christmas.
White Christmas. Yeah,
Yeah.
it far outshines the Beatles, Elvis, or anything else. Uh, Swole looking northwestern salamander. Check this out. I don't know where you find these things, but
In
here's
the
your lizard.
Northwest.
Is a salamander? Is it lizard?
Salamanders are actually amphibians.
Amphibious. I thought so. So this is not your
Yep,
lizard representation for today.
it's your amphibian representation.
He would be 110. Wow. White Christmas. You are exactly right. Yeah, soylent green. Yes, indeed. The screen should be on a trading card. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Tomorrow is Dick Van Dyke's 100th birthday. Wow. Yeah. I thought he'd
Will he
already
make it,
turned
or
100 tomorrow.
will he pull a Betty White on us and die before tomorrow?
Yeah, that would be kind of sad, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. I felt bad when Betty didn't make it. It was like, man, she was so close. Oh, hi,
But
Gary. Boy,
a-
boy, Sabaloy.
as Edward G. Robinson would say, and no cigar. Don't see why for
Why?
you.
That's a salamander, Carrie.
Yeah, salamander. Yeah.
A northwestern
Jay,
salamander. Northwest of what? They didn't tell us, but
the animated classic Wolverine and X-Men. Sadly, Jay Ward died at age 66. Doo-doo. Well, that was I mean, it was really a different theme song for Wolverine.
what was it? A separate? Was
Yeah,
it a separate
that's the Fox kid.
animated
Yeah,
feature?
yeah, he did
Oh.
he
I don't
did
know if
Professor.
I ever saw that one. So that was like a X-Men movie animated thing type.
No, it was one of the mini X-Men series that ran for a season or two. Yeah, I think of a season. I've got it
Oh,
on disc. Yeah.
okay. I remember the
Of
'90s
course,
one.
Jason
I remember
Momoa.
it.
You've probably seen this picture. Jason Momoa playing Lobo, the role that he says he was born. Of course, this is going to be in that dystopian Supergirl. And I recently watched like All Star Superman animated that has Lobo in there. And Lobo,
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, he's that biker, alien biker type. He's just not one of my
Right.
favorite characters. Never have been. Sorry, Phil Diaz. I know he's your favorite, but I'll take Swamp Thing or even some lesser characters over Lobo any day. But that's just me.
Yeah, I
Homer
mean,
Glenn.
some people don't. I've never been a big fan of Lobo, but I want to see what he comes out like in the movie. It might be all right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he'll probably do a good job with Lobo. It's just the whole sassy Supergirl type thing, you know, that I don't care for. Uh,
I don't know.
because it goes
I'm
such against type to the kind of
willing to
good
give it a shot.
girl. Yeah, I am too. I'm not saying I'm not, but I'm not excited to go see it. Or, I'm sure
No,
probably
I'm not going to
John will
theater
buy
to
it and
see
we'll
it.
watch it. 40 years ago yesterday, Eddie Murphy became the only active cast member to host Saturday Night Live because host Nick Nolte partied too hard and could not make it. The
Oh shit!
episode, this episode gave us Gumby's Merry Krispies. Damn it, 42 years ago.
Gonna be done.
So that's pretty wild. Nick Nolte partied too hard and didn't make it.
Yeah.
You did say hi to Omer, right?
Not yet. I was waiting for a break.
Okay. Here's your
You've been
chance.
blathering. Hello, woman. Please don't mind the blather.
Sassy drunk Supergirl, yeah. Super hoe girl. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I watched the trailer like 2 or 3 times now. The teaser trailer.
Yeah.
It doesn't look terrible. I'm not super excited though. So I mean, but I wasn't super excited about Superman either. Uh, it turned out to be okay. Yeah, had some good moments. Had some stuff I didn't like, but overall, I thought it was pretty decent. I don't know.
It was okay. Yeah, and I don't know. I expect more for $15 a ticket, but whatever. Um, 30
Well, I didn't
years
have faith.
ago yesterday, the anti-Godzilla super weapon was deployed when Godzilla versus Mega Godzilla 2 was released to Japanese theaters back in 1993. So you got
Hold on, like I couldn't hear you.
to 32 years ago, yesterday, the anti-Godzilla super weapon was deployed when Godzilla versus Mega Godzilla 2 was released.
Yeah, the
32
oxygen
years ago.
destroyer.
And this is what it looks like right there. I
Wow,
don't know
Apex,
if I've
that's a
seen that
good
one or not.
idea, dude.
Huh?
Apex in the chat said Power Girl movie with Sydney Sweeney. That would
Yeah.
sell. Hell yeah, it would. We gotta have the boob window though. No shorting on the costume.
Yeah. Definitely. You got to have the boob
Oh,
window if it's going to be Power Girl.
it's bonerific. Yes, it is.
Shawing. Barry Windsor Smith on Medusa. Check this out.
BWS.
That's nice.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like Barry stuff, man. Definitely got a cool style.
That looks like one from back in the day. Back in the day.
That looks like uh, some older stuff from Bernie.
Mm.
Or Barry, not Bernie. I said Bernie. I'm not Barry.
Terry Garr's heavenly birthday. She
Oh,
sadly passed away last year. Was born in 1944.
no, I
She
love
was an
Terry Gar. She
Oscar
was so cute.
nominee, and she was on Star Trek episode Assignment Earth, which they were really pitching in that for a series with her, but it never came about. You know, that's where they were trying to stop the space program, something like that. Uh,
Right, yeah.
yeah, and it was supposed to spin off maybe, and they had the cat that would transform into a woman and back again to a cat. Remember, she was on the
Oh, yeah,
couch.
yeah.
But today we are talking Jim Aparo, one of the greatest, I think,
Woohoo.
to come from Charlton Comics over to DC Comics. Uh, Here's Jim Aparo, 1967 Nightshade from Captain Atom number 87, Jim's early work at Charlton. Uh, Dick Garagano actually brought him over to DC Comics, Shadowhawk, from Charlton.
Ah, very cool.
James N. Aparo was an American comic book artist best known for his DC Comics work from the late 1960s through the 1990s, including Batman, Aquaman, and um, Spectre. You know, he did those great uh, uh, adventure comics, Spectre stories, along with famous
Oh,
stories
yeah.
as Death in the Family and Nightfall. He was born in 1932, so he would have been pretty much almost my dad's age, not quite. My dad was born in March of 31, so, but had he been living, he would have been in about his mid 90s. He passed away at age 72 at 2005. He took art classes in New Britain High School, and while also taking courses of Hartford Art School, Aparo was primarily self-taught by studying and copying comic books. So another sort of
Uh,
self-taught person. That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Lots of those out there. Lots of people that have been, schooled somewhat and then self-taught quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I actually
Yeah, I
think
don't know.
those are usually the more inspiring artists, the ones that haven't had, been over schooled or, too rigidly.
I think so too. Shadowhawk. I takes the ones that are not, like you say, over schooled, because you are dealing with exaggeration and imagination. You know, in comics.
Mm. And sometimes you got to play with, the real world physics a little bit when you're doing a comic book. There's shit that works. It's comic book logic, right? There's stuff that works in comics that doesn't work anywhere else. You just got to go with it. Hail,
Apex
RJ.
says, unfortunately, Jim Aparo died penniless. Hell, RJ.
Dude, that's freaking sad. I love Jim Apato's Batman, dude. I mean, all his other stuff is great too, but every time I saw him on Batman, I'd pick it up. Aparo, pick it up. You know,
Yeah, well, that must have been
Didn't
a
care
lot
what
then.
I picked up for a long time. I was picking up Batman every month, dude.
Here's his dead man work here. Lin Wing doing the story
Oh yeah,
here.
I like his Dead Man too. I forgot about that. Yeah, his Dead Man's great. I think didn't he do a run on Spectre too?
Yeah, in Adventure Comics in the
Okay,
mid
yeah,
70s.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, great stuff, bro.
Yeah, he got to do, when late 70s, early 80s, when they had the dollar comics, no ads, 5 different features. He did some of the covers and did some of the stories like this dead man in it.
hmm First Batman I ever attempted to draw, like looking at a reference and
Uh-huh.
then trying to recreate it on a page
Hmm.
was a Jim Aparo Batman. I don't remember what exact
He
cover
had
it
a
was, but
very
it was a cover.
he had a very clean style. Look at this bottom panel here, the bottom 2 panels. Like the one as a segue, he's got that guy's arm still in there, raised
Yeah, it's still in the other panel. Yeah,
in the other panel,
pretty
right? It's
cool.
connecting. It's connecting. That's genius, just to connect it and to throw it.
hmm Yeah, the rest of like his lower half of his body and the foreground is over there to the left of that panel too of the break. It's just
I,
pretty.
I think
That's a cool.
I think the dead man artist that I like, one of the ones that I like are Garcia Lopez. He did that mini series in the 80s. And even on like this Aparo page, I can see similarities to Garcia Lopez artwork, with this character.
Yeah, that top panel's killer, dude. I love the way he
Hmm.
like turned 2 panels into one big one just by putting Dead Man's head in the middle
Yeah.
there.
Uh-huh.
It's fucking genius, dude. I love it.
Well, I
His
mean, just
panel
look
work
at
is
the
fucking neat, dude.
look at the panel designs, on these. Uh
hmm
it's not
That's what I'm saying. The way
traditional
he the
9
way he
grid panel.
sets up panels and like kind of breaks panels and
Hmm.
puts stuff through the gutter. It's just very cool. I never really noticed it that much, but I read these when I was much younger too.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you don't really think about the technical side of it. It just sort of
Look
effortlessly
at
is there.
that center panel at the bottom right there too.
Hmm.
Classic Aparo.
Well, I mean, look at the wording behind him. Why? It's
Yeah,
so effective.
yeah. Even
It's
even drawn into the background.
hmm it's
Man, he's
just
got some killer. What do you call those traps? Look at the traps on that dude, man. They're huge. Oh, here you go. That's classic, bro.
mhm.
Was this an annual or something? I think I actually have this one.
I
I
think
know
this
that
was
image.
used on a treasury.
That's what it was. Okay.
Hmm. Oh, and then the classic
I'm
here,
pretty
which
sure I
is
got that one.
this was a cover, but they had a villain instead of Batman standing there. But he actually pictured himself on a Brave and the Bold cover, and we'll probably see it today, where he's working on
Oh, that's right.
at
Oh,
his
dude,
art
I got
desk.
a ton of those. The old Brave and Bolds that Aparo did.
Hmm. Man Bat.
Yep, got that one.
Oh,
And again,
25 center.
yes, sir.
I think we looked at this one yesterday because we did Creature
Oh, Creature
Commandos and Weird
Commandos.
War. Yeah, and this
Yeah,
is
somehow I missed the Creature Commandos, dude. I never got to read any of them.
really. I bought 2 or 3 of them, and you can get them in trade paperback, all of them, and
Oh,
definitely
okay.
worth a read. They were co-created by Mr. Bronze Star 2
Sorry.
himself, Pat Broderick.
Pat? Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's co-creator along with the writer. Yeah, this is a Jim Aparo Weird War Tales cover. I think I might have bought this one back in the day. I'm not sure. I was kind of sporadic on them. Back in the day. Of course, this is a classic cover, Batman cover from the mid 70s, Bronze Age, done by Jim Aparo. I always like on this one, in this issue, the Catwoman, that they had second features or, special, treated it like guest stars.
Right. Yeah.
He had some miniseries that he did with Batman in the 80s. Creature Commandos needs to be a live action movie. Yeah, that would be cool. Have you seen the animated? Neil Adams is your favorite. Yeah, it's hard to beat Neil Adams. Oh yeah, Batman and the Outsiders, Shadowhawk. I totally forgot about Batman and the Outsiders.
Oh yeah. I got most of those too.
That was really popular back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I like it. Back in those days, I was very art forward. Story came second. The art sold me, and then the story would draw me in. But I mean, I think that's comic books in general. That's how they're supposed to work.
He drew Metamorpho. I think this is Ramona Fragan's artwork there, but
never been a big fan of Metamorpho. I always thought he was
stupid. Me either. Yeah.
It's just not a good character design. I don't know. That's just me. But I know a lot of people like it.
Oh yeah, in Adventure Comics too. He also did.
Oh, dude, Aquaman Adventure. Yeah, I got a ton of these too. That's all Jim Aparo. I forgot about that. Damn.
1976.
Dude, I got more. I got more of his art in my collection than I thought.
Adventure Comics, it's a love-hate with me because they canceled it and there was no reason to cancel it. Just put somebody do something new with it. They, Jim Aparo did Aquaman in there for several issues. He did the Spectre in there for several issues in the Bronze Age. He was on a lot of Adventure Comics, even later when they went to the dollar versions, he did a lot in Adventure Comics. So if you're a Jim Aparo fan, you'll love Adventure Comics throughout the years because he did a lot of work in Adventure
You know what?
Comics.
I was buying them and not even realizing that was him doing it half the time. I just like the art style, so I pick them up.
Yeah. It was it's an anthology. It could have been anything, and they could have made history. The last 2 years of publication of Adventure Comics, they went to that little digest size. Well, if they would have went back, and eventually they did years and years later in the early 2000s, really but it's a second series at that point. Why do you want to cancel one of your oldest running 50-something years old by that point? Why do you want to cancel? Why not do something different with it? That's what they did with the Avengers when they created the new Adventures with David Finch. It became one of their most popular selling, if not their most popular selling titles at the time. They could have done the same thing with Adventure Comics, but it was just easier. Oh, it's not selling good enough. Let's cancel it. That's crazy. It's an anthology. It can be anything you want it to be.
Yeah, but then again, the old stigma of the anthologies never really sold that well. I think that's a bunch of bullshit, personally, because I mean everything back in the '60s and '70s almost was an anthology or had a backup story, something.
Yeah,
there was never just a standalone story back in the day.
Oh, here you go. This is when they crucified, sort of crucifixion, Swamp Thing, Brave the Bold.
How dare they?
Back off, Batman. That monster wrecked our city, and we're going to kill him. How do you kill Swamp Thing? I guess you could set him on fire, I suppose.
I guess if you burn him down to nothing, and he can't, get
Not
back to the swamp,
1976.
then
To me, though,
perhaps.
you'd almost have to have him on asphalt or concrete.
Yeah. Well, do you remember first time Swamp Thing met Batman? He had, I forget what the story was. I think it was an Aparo drawing story, by the way. Um, but Batman sees him creeping through an alley. Swamp Thing is just trying to like meet some kind of medical guy to get some, he's trying to find a cure or whatever. And Batman swings down on him and thinks he's a bad guy. It's a pretty cool scene.
When Batman and the Outsiders came out, I think they were in a 16-page preview, like they were doing a lot back then, and then they got their own title. But they were very popular, and actually I named Geo after the Geo back there in the brown.
Yeah.
Just because I
They
know it's
actually did
available.
a crossover with Teen Titans at one point. I think that was in
Yes.
probably
Mm-hmm.
probably later '80s maybe.
Yeah,
But I know I
George
got that in my
Perez.
collection somewhere. Oh,
Yeah,
dude, look at
George.
that Phantom Stranger. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, and it just blows my mind that Phantom Stranger goes back to the late 50s,
Dude, tell
with
me
DC.
you wouldn't love to have a Jim Aparo, what's you guys name? Traveler? No. Uh, Bystander. Have Jim
Oh,
Aparo do your bystander.
oh, definitely.
Come
Yeah.
on.
I wonder if he ever worked on the question. Here's that Teen Titans Batman Outsiders cross up that you were talking about.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's the one I was just mentioning.
Love the old Justice League style heads of the characters. I love when they do that. That's on my short list to do once I get these characters established to do, the
Yeah,
headshots
that'd
on
be
a
cool
cover.
as a
Yeah.
like a variant cover or whatever.
Yeah. Or
Do
put,
it.
like, yeah, at that point, we're probably going to homage a Justice League or something like that, right? Cover.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's like a second or third
and then you
cover
would open
option
it
on
up,
a
and there
campaign.
would be the heads also on the splash page.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And
they used to do that a lot.
Even over at Marvel, George Perez used that in Avengers number 147, my first Avengers, the one that got me started reading comics, because it had it had Hyperion and all those DC knockoff characters in it, the Squadron Supreme. And so
Oh yeah,
George Perez did the head thing with the Avengers on one side and the Squadron Supreme on the other, just like Justice League used to do. And that was my first
yeah,
exposure
cool.
to the Avengers. Um,
And hail
look,
to Saboteur Comics in the house. Hello, Saboteur.
I like that the Outsiders really took some of the B stringers that weren't being used, like Black Lightning, and utilized them. And Metamorpho.
Now, why he gotta be black? You couldn't just call him Lightning. Why he gotta be black then? That ain't right.
If you called him Lightning, you would think he's drinking moonshine all the time. Come on, man.
Well, he probably was, but that's
You'd be an
besides the point.
alcoholic. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I have this one in my collection. Yeah. H is for Holocaust. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got this one too.
1976. He's
Dude,
doing the
I got
Doctor
way more.
Strangelove. He's doing the Doctor
Yeah, that's
Strangelove thing almost. Yeah. Straddle that
yeah.
bomb. Frankenstein
Woohoo! It's
did
gonna be a
in the
wild
Creature
ride.
Commandos. This
Yeah.
is Space Adventures number 8 from 1969. This is a Jim Aparo cover from Charlton.
And hail, gray, cloudy day just popped in.
Hey, Gray.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I got the first season. Have you seen that Black Lightning show that CW did? Um,
No, I haven't seen any of those.
Rex steals from the best. Yes.
I gave up on those. Well, we kind of didn't have cable for a little while, but yeah, the
Hey,
CW shows
Saboteur.
were pretty disappointing overall.
Yeah. I got to say, I bowed out after a few seasons of Arrow and Flash, and they just they got Saboteur comics in the house. Hey, Saboteur. Uh,
I like the first like season and a half of Green Arrow, and then I don't know if they got new writers or something happened. I don't know what happened, but it like took a left turn somewhere, and I didn't care for it anymore. Um, and then I was watching it. What was it? Legends of the something or another. It had the he's like a classic dude with a trench coat from way back in the day, and he was leading them through time. It had Black
uh,
Canary and uh,
Black Canary. Let's
Legends
see.
of the Future or something like that. I forget what it was called a while back. It's
Yeah.
he's like a dude in a trench coat. He's just like a regular guy, but he's like travels through time. Apparently, he was like a big time character, like in the 50s or 60s back in DC.
Oh, it's
God,
not.
he's got a regular dude's name. He doesn't have a superhero name. It's not like a code name. It's just this regular guy.
Mhm. It's not Constantine, of course.
No, it's not Constantine. Legends of
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Carrie says. Yes, that's the one, Carrie.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Like,
Not
yeah,
ringing a
I forget
bell.
what the guy who it, it was on for like I don't know 3 or 4 seasons. First season or two, I was in there,
Oh,
and then
on
it just started.
TV. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That was Rip Hunter. Yeah,
Rip
yeah,
Hunter. Yeah,
yeah.
I
I
couldn't
thought you
think
were
of his
talking
name.
comics. Okay.
Well, we were just talking about CW. Why would I all of a sudden be talking comics?
Well,
All right,
okay. It
never
was
mind. We
Rip
had
Hunter,
crossed the
Time
wire.
Master. Yeah, Rip Hunter, and
Yeah,
the actor. I thought that was brilliant because he was Rory. He was the character Rory in Doctor Who, so he was Doctor Who's time traveling companion. I thought that was good on casting, making him Rip Hunter, because that was,
yeah.
just people
At
that
least
were fans
I
of
thought
him.
the
Mhm.
first couple of seasons on that one were pretty good too. I thought it seemed like they were going all right, and then all of a sudden it went off the
Yeah,
rails. I don't know what happened.
yeah, I know. They got to push the lesbo aspect of it and other things, and
Yeah, well that too.
the
Yeah.
writing. Yeah, they just can't sustain anything. This is when Jason Todd gets whipped to death by the crowbar, where everybody voted to kill him,
Well,
to kill Robin.
well, I wouldn't call it whipped to death with a crowbar. You're being bludgeoned to death.
Smashed, right? Okay, yeah, yeah. He's being beat
Uh,
brutally over and over and over again with it. Yeah,
yeah, I
and
voted. I
and
voted for Robin to die. Proudly
who would
voted for Robin to die.
see what a good colorist can do with this very clean art style. I mean,
Well, yeah.
the Jim Aparo drawing would be great by itself, but then you add the color and the lighting. Wow, you know,
But you know what, dude? You could always tell it's Aparo from Batman's cowl and his cape.
yeah.
I can
Hmm.
always tell immediately it's him. And he does a very
Okay,
simplified cape. It's no Todd McFarlane, that's for sure.
yeah. This is an earlier Jim Aparo, not as but very iconic.
Uh, Saboteur. I'm sorry, I can't watch this show called Spartacus that has an all black cast. I cannot suspend my disbelief at that point.
Hey, Dave.
Hail Dave, genuine comics.
Almost
And
says the
genuine comics are
CW
genuinely
shows
good.
start off good for the first 3 or 4 seasons, and then they go off the rails because they don't know what to do. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like it. They don't. Yeah, I don't know if I made it past season 2 of any of them. Maybe into season 3.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I want heroes, but if they're not going to be done right, I liked the first couple of seasons of Stargirl. But who knows if it goes off the rail after that or got a third season? I don't even know.
I
But
saw a
the first,
couple of those. They weren't horrible.
oh, they're good.
Hey,
Yeah, they're
Chusty's
pretty good.
sidekick. Been a while. What's up, Chusty?
Yeah, here's the aftermath of
Man,
finding
I'm
Robin.
freezing to death. It's cold up here. I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to get
Rip
some extra
Hunter,
layers.
Time Master, Superman and Lois. That was a good one. Yeah.
Lois?
Again,
I love the
I,
way you say Lois.
Lois. Yeah.
Lois?
Well, there is at least something you like about me. You know.
Well, you know, you
Oh
make me
yeah,
laugh.
I had forgotten. Adventure comics. They put the weird in there in the title. Weird Adventure Comics. There for a little while in the
Oh, yeah.
'60s. I
Yeah,
mean the
I don't think
'70s.
that
Yeah.
lasted very long, but yeah.
No, no, but it was those Jim Aparo Spectre stories. That's why they put it
Hmm.
in there. Look at the
That's cool,
skeleton
because I love
holding on
those.
to his ankle, like the dead holding on that giant barracuda bearing down on him. Wow,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
The
Crazy.
Spectre. Say what you will about the Spectre, but he knew how to punish crime
Oh, yeah.
horrifically,
Spectre,
horrifically.
Spectre is
Yeah.
awesome. Phantom
Yeah.
Strange. There you go.
Team ups.
Oh, look at that classic Batman right there. Uh-oh. Color's fucked up. Why does Batman have yellow gloves?
They're boxing. I mean, they both have them.
Oh, it looks like
Yeah,
Joker has
Wildcat.
control of
Yeah,
them. Yeah, Joker's probably controlling them. They got no control over themselves.
rock 'em, sock 'em.
Yeah. Okay.
Heroes.
That makes sense.
Hmm.
I'll make you beat each other to death, Batman. That sounded more like Skeletor. I'm sorry. I can't do it, Joker. Hail, Octagon. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, Ryan. Black cast. I'm intrigued. Yes. Remember Captain America's Weird Tales of the '50s? Yeah, they kind of changed the title there for a little while.
I think they were just trying to, because it was popular, they were trying to slap a weird and
Hmm.
eerie, different things like that on, just to see if they could boost sales a little bit.
Well,
We
look
call
at
it
this
weird,
where he
maybe we'll get a few more sales.
melts the gun and melts the guy's hands.
Oh, wow. You're going to need
There,
some bandages for sure.
a lot of it was done in shadow, like he enlarges these giant calibers and obscures this one guy, but it's all done in shadow in Adventure Comics.
Hmm.
Look, he just melted the guy. He all the way down on on that
Oh,
first
damn.
panel there. Wow.
Yeah. I thought he was,
Needs some.
thought he
He,
was
he
just going
needs
to take his hands out, but he took them all the way out.
he needs to throw him some tums and ask. You know.
Too late.
Yep. Too late.
Boy, I
Yep.
had some,
Jim Paro.
some,
There's the man right
some
there.
5 alarm heartburn. Oh, right.
Man, the myth, the legend. Esner Hall of Famer, Katina, Geo Force, and Halo co-creator. Batman, the Spectre, Detective Comics, the Phantom. That would have been for Charlton, the Brave and the Bold, Aquaman, Dead Man, the Phantom Stranger, and Batman and the Outsiders. So quite a resume there. Uh,
Aquaman.
1969. There's a cover by Aparo. Look at that.
Yeah, I was looking in the chat. Hold on.
The House of
Ooh,
Spider.
very cool.
Yeah, I like just the plain coloring on that. Very vibrant.
Yeah. Again, with the bright yellow background. I used to do that a lot back
Good
in
one,
the
Ronnie.
day.
Get your Batusi on. Yes. We all gonna dance. Dance, monkey, dance. Of course, this was the thumbnail here from Phantom Stranger. Very effective cover. Again, done in shadow, right? The execution. Phantom Stranger had some awesome covers from Jim Aparo and Neil Adams. Some of the best covers. So cool. There's a ghost. Forgot Spectre actually came over into Ghost a little bit. Double the Joker on this one. "1968 Space Adventures #4, Aparo cover for Charlton. Incredible imitation people. Could that be clones? Another way of saying clones. Braving the boat here. Going up against the Teen Titans. Well, that looks like John Byrne here on that. That's John Byrne. There we go. There's Jim Aparo, first issue. Collector's item. Did you always like that when they, now this is going to be collectible now. You want to get this as a collector's item, you know? I don't know. You probably still get Batman Outsiders #1 in good, fairly good shape for $10, you know.
Yeah. Well, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, collector's item. I better get it.
Here he is with Wildcat
Yeah,
again in
I'm pretty sure I got that
1976.
one.
I guess you would classify this as a hanging cover, not really a bondage cover, but more like a hanging cover, right? If you had to classify it, Batman hanging around there, some bad sailors.
I don't know what's acceptable wording
Yeah,
for
acceptable
YouTube,
wording.
but yeah.
Oh, he
I'll be
scanned
back
that
in a minute.
upside down, didn't he? Yeah. Nice Statue of Liberty, though. Look at that. Look at that Spectre there. Wow. I had forgotten that he did a few issues in Ghost. Oh, this one's awesome. That's an awesome one there. I think I actually bought this issue because I have a Jim Aparo production piece that has like Dead Man and Phantom Stranger on it. And I thought it was to this issue, and it was not. DC Superstars presents one of those 60 centers, probably from 1978. DC Superstars was actually one of the first comic books I ever bought. Issue, I want to say, it's early. I want to say 2, maybe issue 2, but I'm not. It's Jim, damn it, Jim, not Joe. What did I say? Joe Aparo. Okay, Jim Aparo. Yeah, okay. Did he say Joe Aparo? Probably. Tasty.
You might have. I wasn't paying that close of attention.
Yeah. Well,
We just call him Jimmy around here.
yeah, we're just, my brother's named Joe, so forgive me. Oh, here you go. Look at this. This is the George Perez sort of cover for both those issues. Great connecting cover. Connecting covers weren't that common back then, Shadowhawk, at this time. Wonderful stuff. Dr. Light in there and
Yeah, no,
all
it's
kinds of.
that was probably one of the first connected covers like that I bought. I think
Mm-hmm. Beautiful
they weren't
stuff. I mean,
they weren't real common.
I can't wait. Next week will be on Feature Friday. Will be somebody else, but who we got? Oh, Dave Stevens. So we'll be doing Dave Stevens, and we'll be rounding out the year with this artist here, George Perez, one of my favorites. The one that really got me into comics, really. It's like you say, Jim Aparo, he just kind of drew you in with some of the things that was depicted. I mean, he was such a clean, had such a clean style and told the story concisely and effectively. Just like on a page like this, the panel work, just awesome with Aquaman. Aquaman just doesn't get much love. There it is. There's the Brave and the Bold where he's sitting and being threatened by the villain. Finish the cover, Aparo. Rock kills Batman or I kill you. Sergeant Rock. 1976 cover. That's pretty wild that he actually names himself and puts him on the cover. That they gave him leave to do that,
So the mob were fans of Sergeant Rock.
Damn that dyslexia. Oh man, yeah, I love this. The 155 cover by Jim Aparo with Murphy Anderson and Bob Brown. I One of the very first ones I got was a Legion of Superheroes 100 pager for 60 cents. Had reprint stuff in it, old Legion stuff by Kurt Swan and Jim Shooter doing the writing. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff. Made me a Legion of Superhero fan right there. I loved groups. I just love groups, love large groups. So, although it's kind of hard to do a group book, to get I think that's Nick Cardy there, isn't it? He did a lot of Aquaman back in the Silver Age, yeah. But now he also did some of the work. Oh yeah, this one here. Where Talia's getting shot in the back by Batman. Great thing about these had golden age stories in them, like Kid Eternity from the 40s and Captain Midnight stories, and they even did one in the 70s. There was a Captain Midnight story, Shadow, that they had never been published before. And so they published it in one of these 100 pagers for the very first time. It actually debuted an old Golden Age story that was never told of Captain Midnight. I think that's cool that they finally found that artwork and noticed it was never published and published it in one of these as if it, had been published. Oh, yeah, look at that. Elsie's got a bunch of ghosts. I don't know if he's got the ones with the Spectre. I've got a few with Spectre. Great Riddler cover here. That's the thing about Aparo, man. He churned the stuff out. Yeah, Jim Aparo did the inside guts to this. This is Garcia Lopez cover. I just loved his Batman. His Batman looks sinister to me. He almost looks like Joker in a cowl here with that smile. You rarely see Batman with a smile on his face. Uh, Made the ears a little demonic too, a little bigger. Yeah, look at that. Up against 1976, salutes the bicentennial. Had Creeper story in there, so an anthology. I'd often buy the comic because of backup stories. I'm here to bring back the anthology with Devil Flyer, for sure. Great Christmas cover here. I think I remember buying this.
Yeah, it seems like it might be a good time for anthologies again, Rex. A lot of people are getting a little braver with wanting to do one and saying, why not? You know?
Yeah, I mean, it really didn't occur to me, but in this process, finally, about a few months ago, it was like I was thinking about Golden Age comics and going, well, dang, I'm just following tradition because most of the Golden Age was anthology stuff. They were
Oh, yeah.
creating, had all this variety of characters, and people like to read that variety of stuff. I mean, back then. From various artists and whatnot. Of course, they had their favorites, and that was a good way to cull things, right? Find out what was popular, what didn't work. You could always switch things out. Here you go. Not only Robin being beat to death by a crowbar, but Bane breaking Batman's back. Aparo did it.
Oh, nice.
Cracked. Yeah.
Didn't
Broke his
realize
back.
that was a Aparo. Yeah.
That was the next big power move by DC after they killed Superman. Remember?
That was Nightfall.
Mm-hmm. That ran forever, that Nightfall.
Mm-hmm. That was a long one.
How about that? Luthor punching both Batman and Superman. I followed, Outsiders. They were one of the first direct books, I think. Didn't they go to prestige format after a while?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you have a favorite? I mean, is he? I mean, for most people, Jim Aparo is like Batman is either their, one of their favorite Batman artists, or, I mean, is there a favorite thing that he did that you liked?
I just love all of the Batman stuff. But, I mean, the more I see, like today, I didn't even realize he did. I've got like 50 or 60 of those adventure Aquamans in my collection. It's probably mostly him.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a ton of uh, the like the Spectre and Phantom Stranger and different things that I saw tonight that I didn't even know were him that are in my collection. It's like, yeah, that's great. I knew I
Yeah.
liked this guy. I just didn't realize how much I liked him.
Yeah,
So yeah, but overall,
Aparo,
he's probably top 2 or 3 Batman artists for me.
who are the others? Berfogel, probably.
Brayfogel's real good, and then like for a more modern guy, um, Silvestri probably. He did a
Mm-hmm.
really cool Batman.
Here's one of those
McFarlane did
direct
a pretty cool
outsiders.
Batman too, but
I got you for $1.25 on these, written by Mike Barr, 1985 here on this issue 5 of the Outsiders direct. You really had to
not
be
crazy.
you really had to be a fan at that point to buy it. I they kind of lost me after a while. I lost interest after a while with the Outsiders. as I do on most of the, things. Well, here's a different one. And Ra's al Ghul, Master of the Assassins.
Nice.
I know I've got a production piece with Batman and Wonder Woman, one of the Brave and the Bold covers. What else we got? Nothing? Oh, man, yeah, Spectre.
Spectre.
Look at that Spectre. Wow. They got like a big, hefty book on that. Of course, it's
cool.
not just the Jim Aparo. It's got the Neil Adams and Gardner Fox written stuff.
Oh, holy shit. Is that the omnibus? Oh, wow.
Oh, there's the big scissors in the guy's hands melting.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty hefty, impressive book there. Now there you go. Now there's Batman as a detective trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's such a classic look. I like it.
Well, I mean, that's the way Batman should be. He should be in detective comics. He should be a detective. He figure these things out where everybody else can't. Look at that cover. Wow.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The complete controversial saga. I don't know if it was controversial. It was kind of violent, I guess, for the time for kids. Like here, he turned this guy to stone or something. The Spectre's supposed to be like a vengeful type, judgmental spirit, right?
Yeah, he didn't fuck around. Like, if you get the Spectre coming after you, you did something pretty bad.
Look at that cover, man. Look at that cover. I see. I never got the Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan became the Spectre for a little while.
Really?
Eric and Boyd, the Spectre don't play around.
I think I vaguely remember that.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, Eric. What's up, buddy?
I'm really surprised. Okay, I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised that no one's called me Devilfish. Hey, Devilfish. I'm surprised nobody's called me Devilfish. Nobody thought of it except me. Is Elsie in there? Hey, Elsie. Oh, there's Elsie.
Do you want me to call you Devilfish, Shrek?
No, but I'm surprised someone hasn't yet. So I'll just call myself Devilfish. Devilfish first. Devilfish.
Devilfisher.
Yeah. There you go. Jim Aparo's DC Classics Artist Edition. Nice. Nice stuff. Look at that splash page, like the upshot, just slight upshot. I mean, look at that Batman. Look at that Batman. You don't get much better than that. Most of him just in shadow. That's awesome.
Yeah, you don't even draw most of them. You just draw the shoulders, the chest piece, and then it's all blank until you get below the knees.
It keeps him mysterious,
Yeah,
even this run on.
It's a very good effect. It works.
Yeah, I mean, look how he did him here in the fourth panel there, where he's just running forward. His face is totally in shadow. His upper torso's in shadow. His legs mostly in shadow. But it's effective use of shadow with that character.
Exactly. Which is what you're supposed to have with Batman.
Absolutely. He did a great Batman. Look at this, man. Look at this cover. Wow. The Spectre Returns, Adventure Comics.
Cool. Don't look happy.
The great thing is, I've seen Spectre as larger than planet Earth. I mean, he can be a huge figure, so that that really makes for good covers, where he can be oversized and very
Oh yeah.
um, menacing looking. You know, I think this might be Talia again, Ra's al Ghul's daughter.
Daughter.
Seems like
Yeah.
Batman was always rescuing her there for a little bit till they actually killed the character off. Here's
Well, she ended up
1967.
being the mother of Batman's child, Damien, uh, the newest Robin, or he became the Red
Oh
Hood, or
yeah, the
whatever.
mother. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
she was the mother of.
well,
Yeah.
she got to see the Batwing decades before we did. Yeah,
Boom,
or
boom.
maybe the light was off. Maybe I'm just,
She got the pet stick thing.
Yeah, I've got some Jim Aparo Phantom stuff from Charlton too. He drew some nice Phantoms back in the '60s.
Uh, Going, Elvin. It's Friday. I'm
Just
trying
about
to chill.
just about every. Oh, there you go, Mister Freeze. Yes.
Oh yeah, love Mr. Freeze.
One thing about Aparo, he could always put a surprised look on Batman's face.
Yeah, he does look
There
surprised,
was
doesn't he? Like, oh shit.
there was just certain, look at that panel. Look at that. That's good Kirby crackle.
No, like I was gonna say, Tommy Kirby was the only one who could do the crackle.
Yeah.
There's crackle all over that page.
Oh yeah. Well, just one panel really. Page 7 there.
Oh, yeah, is it just a
Uh,
panel? Yeah.
just a panel, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. What?
Wow.
Look at that chin.
Yeah, look at that, man. Jim Paro's Joker, he had that long chin. This guy's putting his chin forward, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he could probably play the Joker. Yeah, I'd give him the role. It'd be
He's got
hard to
pretty
act
long
like
chin.
that.
Oh,
Yeah, that's kind of an unrealistic looking chin, as far as length, but that's the way he
yeah.
drew him. Look at that Phantom Stranger there. Wow. And with Lean Ween writing them, it's a good story. Return to the Tomb of the Ice Giants. That almost looks like he's probably a little influenced by Neil Adams, that hand there, because Neil Adams did a lot on this run as well. I imagine Neil Adams had some influence on early on Jim Aparo.
Yeah, sorry, Eric. I was making a little noise there. Sorry. I'm gonna get going here in a
Okay.
minute anyway. I'm bushed. Time to get some cozy clothes on and fire up the electric blanket. Toast up over here.
Yeah,
Get
it's a
back
good
to
time
rest.
to do it.
Well,
Huh?
that was cool, dude. Yeah, that's crazy. I got a lot more Aparo than I realized in my collection. I'm gonna have to go back and dig through and read some more of that good old stuff.
Oh, I think I do too. I
But
mean, you always wind up with a lot of Jim Aparo in your collection if you're collecting anything at all, because he did a lot of variety of stuff. It was mostly DC stuff, but he did some for Charlton. I don't know if he ever crossed over into Marvel. Does anybody out in the chat know of anything he did for Marvel?
I don't know if
I
I
mean, I
saw it,
could
but you know
I
what?
could
He
probably
might have done some
Wikipedia
stuff
it.
for Marvel, and I picked it up and didn't even realize it was him. I just picked it up because it was nice, Because I did a lot with
Mm-hmm.
of that with Jim Aparo. Like, oh, that art style is really nice. I'm gonna grab that. Turns out it was all him.
Oh,
Anything?
absolutely.
I'm thinking like
Yeah.
Stingray or something, like out of the blue. He might have drawn him. I don't know. I don't know why that
Well,
came to mind.
at Barnes and Noble years ago, I looked at the compilation of like Nightfall. I was like, oh, I could get all these Nightfall. And I was surprised that Jim Aparo drew a large majority of that Nightfall story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was born in New Britain, Connecticut. Never heard of New Britain, Connecticut, but yeah.
Okay.
He took courses at Hartford Art School. He was primarily self-taught, like I said, studying and copying comic books, growing up and taking inspirations from characters such as Superman, Batman, and Captain Marvel. Aparo was influenced by artists such as Alex Raymond and Milton Caniff. In the newspapers, Aparo
Oh. Right.
started his comic career later than most artists, around the time working in advertising first, while sending his art to various comic book publishers. On a summer vacation in Charlton, Aparo met Dick Garagano, the future executive editor of DC Comics, and he was also an editor over there at Charlton, who saw potential in his work. And so when Dick went over to DC, he took Jim Aparo with him, and the rest is history. He
Ah.
attempted to enter the comic book profession in his early 20s, approaching EC Comics, which declined to hire him. I would say probably his loss,
Yeah. EC Live. Yeah.
Yeah. He then worked in advertising industry in Connecticut, often drawing fashion illustrations for newspaper advertisement. He continued to pursue a career in comic books and comic strips while working in advertising. His first break in comics field was the comic strip Stern Willer, written by Ralph Kana, which was published in 1963 in a Hartford, Connecticut newspaper for less than a year. In 1966, editor Dick Garagano and Charlton Comics hired him as a comic book artist, where his first assignment was a humorous character called Mrs. Binky Love, LUV, in Go Go Comics. Over the next few years, Charlton Aparo drew stories in many genres: westerns, science fiction, romance, horror, mystery, and suspense. Most of his work was for standalone stories and anthology titles, but he also drew the historical adventure feature Thane of Bagarth in the comic book Hercules, the superheroine feature Nightshade in Captain Atom, the science fiction Western comedy backup Wanderer in Cheyenne Kid, and the comic book adaptation of the comic strip The Phantom. Jim Aparo was paid $15 to $20 a page at his time at Charlton Comics. Wow.
Wow.
$15 to $20 a page.
And on that note, good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you, Shadow.
Night, Rick. Hail
Take
up.
care. Aparo was one of the few artists in Main Street Comics at the time to serve as penciler, inker, and letterer for all of his work. In the late 60s, Dick Garagano left Charlton for an editorial position at DC Comics and offered Aparo a job drawing the Aquaman comic book. After an initial issue number 40, for which Aparo provided only pencil art, Aparo resumed producing pencils, inks, and letters for most issues of the series until its cancellation. Aparo continued for a time to provide art to Charlton for the Phantom, alternating between the two series month by month, as both series were being released on a bi-monthly basis at the time. That's smart. That way he was always working. Eventually, Aparo resigned his assignment on the Phantom and worked almost exclusively for the remainder of his career for DC Comics. Aparo's next series assignment at DC was Phantom Stranger. After Aquaman was canceled, his bi-monthly frequency Phantom Stranger was insufficient to fill his typical production rate of one page per day, so DC assigned him several short jobs such as mystery stories for House of Mystery and House of Secrets. In 1971, Aparo was assigned a fill-in job as the artist for The Brave and the Bold 98, October, November 1971. This series routinely featured team-ups of DC's Batman with other characters, in this case, the Phantom Stranger. As the regular artist on the Phantom Stranger's own series, Aparo was considered an appropriate choice. Murphy Boltinoff, the editor of Brave and the Bold, soon assigned Aparo the regular artistic responsibilities for the series, beginning with issue number 100, which he continued until its cancellation with issue 200. Missing only a few issues, Aparo even co-starred as himself in the Brave and the Bold 124. We saw that where he was on the cover January 1976. During the more than 10 years as the artist of Brave and the Bold, his bi-monthly frequency permitted Aparo to do many other significant works for DC. It became monthly in November 1978. In addition to numerous covers, he served as the regular artist for a notorious series starring a ruthless, avenging ghost called The Spectre, which ran in Adventure Comics, and which in 2005 was collected in a trade paperback edition. He also provided art for a revival of Aquaman in both Adventure Comics and a continuation of the previously canceled Aquaman. He was assigned the solo Batman series in Detective Comics as of issue 437 in 1973 for a rather short story, and drew occasional stories for anthology series. Aparo and writer Len Wein introduced Sterling Silversmith in Detective Comics 446, 1975. He drew the Untold Legend of Batman, the first Batman miniseries, in 1980, inking John Byrne's pencils in the first issue and providing full art for the second and third issues. Okay, so that's where Byrne came into that one. He inked him. Aparo was one of the artists on the double-sided Justice League of America number 200. There was a whole host of artists on that issue. When the Brave and the Bold was canceled in 1983, it was replaced with a series called Batman and the Outsiders, a superhero team led by Batman. This series, which Aparo co-created with writer Mike W. Barr, would be described by DC's Comics writer and executive Paul Levitz as being a team series more fashionable to 80s audiences. The Masters of Disaster were among the supervillains created by Barr and Aparo for the series. It would run for several years, continuing with a Baxter Paper spinoff titled The Outsiders that did not include Batman, and introduced the Looker for the a female character, Looker. For the final issues, DC began to request that Aparo provide only pencils, and a long and nearly unbroken string of Aparo inking and lettering his own work came mostly to an end. Aparo's next major work consisted of pencils for Batman and Detective Comics, where his art was almost always inked by Mike DiCarlo. Aparo returned to Batman title with issue 414, 1987, in collaboration with writer Jim Starlin. One of their first storylines for the title was 10 Nights of the Beast in issues 117 through 420, 1988, which introduced the KG Beast. I remember that character from Russia, Russian character. Perhaps the most notable production of his period remains A Death in the Family, which was Batman 426 through 429, 88 to 89, depicting the deaths of Jason Todd, Robin at the time. A Lonely Place of Dying storyline crossover with the New Titans title and introduced Tim Drake as the new Robin. Aparo continued to draw Batman stories and Detective and Batman until the early 1990s. During this time, he was the regular artist on Batman when Bane broke Batman Bruce Wayne's back during the
Nightfall storyline in 1992, Aparo returned to do pencils, inks, and lettering for his Batman stories, but was soon returned to contributing only pencils art. Also, that year, Aparo was given his last regular series assignment for DC as penciler artist of Green Arrow, issues 81 through 100. He and writer Kelly Puckett co-created Connor Hawk, the son of Green Arrow. Following that assignment, I didn't even know that. Following that assignment, Aparo's work appeared infrequently when Aparo was mostly assigned occasional Batman-related stories and covers in miniseries and specials. His published work in the late 1990s and early 2000s include Batman Annual, inked by former Marvel Comics mainstay Sal Buscema. Wow, I'd like to see that. A Speed Force special featuring The Flash, an issue of Dead Man miniseries that revised his Death in the Family story, and a single page of Green Lantern Superman Legend of the Green Flame, written by Neil Gaiman, in which he had a final opportunity to draw the Phantom Stranger for production. His final work for DC during his life was the cover of the trade paperback Batman in the 80s, published in 2004 and in 2006. Previously unpublished Aparo art depicting the unused alternate endings of the storyline A Death in the Family, in which the Jason Todd Robin lives instead of dies, appears in Batman Annual number 25. That's pretty cool. I'll have to pick that up if I don't have that one. Depicts when he lived, because they drew it both ways. He died in July 19th, 2005 at home in Connecticut. At least one report attributed the cause of death as a long battle with cancer, but his family formally said his death came from complications relating to a recent illness. DC Comics ran an Aparo in memoriam page in Batman 644 in 2005 and Detective Comics 811 in November 2005. He was inducted into the Will Eisner Hall of Fame in 2019 and received the Shazam Award for Best Individual Short Story Dramatic in 1972, The Demon Within in House of Mystery 201. He received the Inkpot Award in 1993. His Charlton work was Captain Atom, Nightshade, 87 through 89. Career Girl Romances, number 40. Charlton Premiere, number 4. Cheyenne Kid, number 66 through 71. The Wanderer backup story. Ghost Manor, number 77, which came out in 1984 in Charlton. Ghostly Tales, 65 through 68. A bunch of ghostly tales throughout the years, going all the way up to 1967. Gunfighter, number 52 and 83. Number 83 came out in 1984. Hercules Adventures of the Man God, 1 through 10, which read from 68 to 69. I Love You, 67. Love Diary, 62 and 66. So he did some romance comics for Charlton. The Many Ghosts of Dr. Graves, 4 through 5, 7 through 8, 17, 66, 69. Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt, number 60. The Phantom, 31 through 34 and 36 through 38. Romantic Stories, 94. Scary Tales, number 22, which came out in 1980. Secret Agent, number 10. Space Adventures, number 2 and 4. Space Adventures Presents UFO, number 60. And Strange Suspense Stories. And then a whole host of DC stuff, of course, and Marvel Comics. He did Captain America 616 in 2011. Captain America sketch from 1999 was included. That was his only Marvel work. Wow. Some highlights of his DC stuff that he did, of course, Action Comics at one issue, 642. A lot of adventure comics, All-Star Western Aquaman, Azrael, Annual number 3, 1997. Batman Annual 24 and 25. Uh, Batman Chronicles, Batman Family, Legends of the Dark Knight, as we said before, Batman Shadow of the Bat, 61, 68. A lot of Brave and the Bones, Batman Villains Secret Files and Origins, Celebrate the Century, superhero comic stamp album, 1 and 2 and number 4 that came out in 98. I've got some of those. They were just like giveaways at the post office in comic book format. DCU Holiday Bash, number 1, 1996. Dead Man Dead Again, number 2 of 5 miniseries, 2001. A bunch of Detective Comics. Ghost number 1, 1971. Green Arrow. Green Lantern, Superman, Legend of Green Flame, as we mentioned before. House of Mystery, House of Secrets. Justice League of America 200, among other artists. Mystery in Space 111. Outsiders, of course. Phantom Stranger, Secret Origins, Volume 2, number 10. Phantom Stranger 87. 1987. Spectre, Speed Force, the Flash Kid Flash story, 97. Steel, number 33. Superboy and the Reavers. That was a good series. Number 8. From 1997. Teen Titans, number 36. Aqualad story, from 1971. Time Warp, number 1 from 1971. The Unexpected, 127, 132 in the early 70s. The Untold Legends of Batman, number 1. Inks over John Byrne, number 2 and number 3 in the miniseries, 1980. Who's Who in the DC Universe. He was featured in issue 4, 5, 11, 13, and 14. Who's Who, the Distinctive Directory of DC Universe. Bunch of that. Witching Hour, number 25 from 1972. And Wraith the Spectre, number 4 miniseries from 1988. So it's wild to see a creator last that long. In comics, you don't hardly see that anymore. LZ from Last Night Drawstream, yeah. If you like what are you seeing, hit that like button. Yes, thank you, Janet. It was nice of you to come on, and Jason Bascom came on after Janet left, and we had Omer come in, and we had Mighty Geek come in for a while. We had Matthew come in for a while. It was a good drawstream. Got good views on it. And if you haven't seen that, it was a really good drawstream. Jason Bascom doing a digital piece that he started on Topicless on Tuesday, and pretty much finished it on last night's drawstream. Anyway, going to get out of here early. Going to be on with Janet from Another Planet, talking some politics, and we'll stream that over on this channel too. Check us out at 9:10 tonight. Always a fun time with Janet and everybody else on panel. Something different for the channel, and always a lovely hostess, the hostess with the mostest. No drawstream tonight, but maybe tomorrow night. We'll see. Never know what Apex is going to do. Apex After Dark, or I'll try and leave that open. And it depends. Good to see Trusty Sidekick in here earlier. Always, I know he lurks a lot and doesn't always comment. Hope you enjoyed this little talk on Jim Aparo. He was one of the greats, and one of the ones kind of like Kurt Swan that kind of stabilized things there, and kind of an in-house style for lack of better words, for DC Comics for many years. It's because of stalwarts like that, the underpinning of people like Kurt Swan and Jim Aparo that made DC so stable during those years. And there were upheaval years where comics were canceled. Like 1978, there was a mass cancellation of a lot of their titles. Going into the early 80s, the black and white glut and the boom of the 80s and the early 90s, But the 80s started out slow. But then so did the economy. You know, the the state of comics are always going to be linked to how well the economy is. Look through history, you know, Jimmy Carter, lean years, comic books, lean years. And even Reagan going in at 80, it took him a couple of years, 2.5 years or so to turn the economy around, you know. And a lot of that is, you know, the confidence in your leadership. If you don't have confidence in your leaders, you're not going to be risk taking and buying uh, things that perhaps are luxury items, you know, because you're like, well, I may have to hold on to my money. Of course, that doesn't hold when everybody says, I'm going to hold on to my money, that hurts the economy. You know, we need a roaring economy. We need people spending and buying. We are consumer driven for good or bad. You know, don't spend beyond your needs. Certainly don't go into debt at this time. But I think we can loosen up the belt a little bit, be cautious, you know, buy those things that you say you've always needed, you know, I'll, you know, buy some extra food, extra water storage and stuff, be a prepper. I always say that, you know, at least have enough to feed yourself for 6 months easily. And if you have a family, you need more than that, right? Um, but yeah, it's always tied to economy, and hopefully comics will be doing better in the next few years. We'll see. You know, if we can pull some of this stuff off in the midterms, and actually, if those $2,000 checks are kind of uh, signed off on and given out to some people, I think that you'll see crowdfunding, you know, pick up. People will spend more, you know, if they have it to spend. Um, which is not always a good thing. You know, we need to be savers as well, and investors. Invest in your. I believe I did a title like that. Invest in your future. It is your vision, after all, right? I'm all the time investing in my future, in getting stuff made and produced, and you know, and we've come a long way. You got to have a good working logo, good character, good vision, you know, be able to pull it off, you know. But you got to, you know, have faith in yourself, you know, um, and what you're doing, you know, and you got to have a passion for it, or you're going to burn out and you're just going to end it short, you know, and you'll never know what you could have done. Um, Anyway, I'm going to stop meddling in your lives and call it a day for now, and then rest up a little bit, and maybe feed Abby another meal here coming up, and maybe feed myself a little something. I've already got a pizza thawed out in the oven. Just have to turn it on and heat it up and eat that bad boy. Maybe put some extra toppings on it. You know, I always like to, you know, if it's frozen pizza, also put extra cheese, extra, you know, stuff that they won't do for you at the pizza place. No matter how much you beg for them, never pay for double cheese, because you'll never get it unless you go back there and put a mound of cheese on there yourself. I'm afraid they think that it's just going to run off and ruin their ovens. I don't know, or be a messy cleanup. You could never get a double cheese pizza. I don't care. They say it's double cheese. It's never. Have you ever really gotten a pizza that you've actually ordered double cheese? Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some very cheesy pizzas out there, but anytime you ask for it, I'm never satisfied with the amount they put on. Just me, maybe. I'm going to stop complaining, get out of here, keep collecting. Hope you enjoyed Feature Friday. Jim Aparo was a great artist. Sad we don't have more like him in comics. Next Feature Friday will be a good one. The master of cheesecake, Dave Stevens. Can't wait to see what's out there that he's done, because I know a lot of it, and it's just beautiful work. Think Rocketeer. And then after that, one of my all-time favorites of all time, George Perez. One of my all-time favorites. I mean, he's got to rank up in my top 3 artists, if not number 1, for enjoyment. You know, if I could only be on a desert island, I think I would pick George Perez, you know, his comics, and I'd be very satisfied. He did some great stories, Drew illustrated some great stories written by some great writers. Because, writers, no matter what Omer says, writers, if you don't have a good story, it doesn't matter how pretty it is. I was like R.L. Stein. I bought that series that he did. A decade ago or so. He did a Man Thing, and the Man Thing artist, I can't remember who it was, but wonderful. And they even had wonderful variant covers for that series. I got a few of those on eBay, but the writing, oh God, I don't know why R.L. Stein is a name. His Goosebump stuff's got to be a lot better than the Man Thing stuff, because it was pathetic. It was pathetic writing for a comic book. Stick to your lane, sir. Stick to Goosebumps, because your Man Thing series sucked, but it was beautifully illustrated. You should pick it up just for the art alone if you're into it. Anyway, keep collecting, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bow for now.